The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the 19th day of May 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Linda's. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sencha Durham, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sencha, how are you, sister?
Good morning. Feeling fresh and,
You're weird.
bright, bright-eyed, bushy tail on this, what's today? Thursday morning?
It's Thursday. It's Thursday. Two days in a row I've got her, folks. When I can get her or Sherry 2 days in a row, it makes me feel like, all right, yes. I'm not switching up. Her tolerance level for me is getting better, But hey, nothing like 2 days. But look, we have a show today that we're gonna
Mhm.
do. Let me start by saying I'm not like Sherry. Oh, you all know I can go a day without throwing Sherry, but I'm sad that it's Thursday because that means it's Friday, and then I have to take 2 days without seeing you all. But anyway, greetings everyone, and thanks for making this.
Oh, no. Jamal sent us the sweetest message yesterday. He got all mushy and made me feel all good.
You really went Sherry just now.
It's it, Jamal. It warmed my heart. I was
Oh,
like, oh.
see, this is why I do that stuff. That's why I'm not. Then they tell you all it's not true. It's not
And
true.
I didn't respond. I waited to this morning to let you know
Wow,
how I felt about it.
wow, folks, it wasn't really me. I was hacked. My WhatsApp was hacked. A good one today. We've got activist Enda Methy on the show for a conversation. Daily Play is a name that plays, and Sancho's a New Yorker. I call her a New Yorker.
So,
So it's a New York question, very easy New York question. Yeah.
Jamal, you know what you do every single time? You say daily play, and then you set me up to make everybody think that I should get this because it's a certain thing within my past. And then I don't get it, and you have me looking crazy. Can we just say this is a daily play? You don't have to give all of that. Sancho's a New Yorker. Sancho likes music.
Okay.
Listen, you set me up. But to be honest, I was talking to my mom about it. She's like, Sancha, how did you get that yesterday? And I was like, every time Jamal mentions like daily play, it's almost like I freeze up.
Gets nervous, folks. She gets nervous. So
So
look,
even if I know it, and even if it's easy, I overthink it, and
but it's okay. You know why? Because
we're
I
gonna
didn't.
work on it.
I never tested well. You know what I'm saying? Some people, some of the most brilliant people didn't test well. That's true. That's the reality. You
There
know,
we
I get anxiety. I'm like, oh boy,
go.
that,
This is what you're giving me every day. Anxiety, like daily play. I'm like,
All right. So here's what we'll do. I'll put it on the audience, and that's how Sherry got better. I start putting the pressure on her. She said, she's trying to tell people I got very mushy yesterday. She's talking about she
mushy.
saved the message. So I must make sure I delete the message, folks. I know what they're talking about. And then she's agreeing with you, Sherry, saying that it's always a setup. That's not true. I try to set you guys up to win. That's what type of teammate I am. So
Okay.
going forward, we'll check that out. But folks, we have a discussion this morning, and it's a discussion that I'm sure every Bermudian has an opinion on. What am I talking about? So let me give some background first, Sencha. So there's a footballer for PSG, football, the real kind where they use their foot, not the American kind where they throw the ball. Idrissa Gay. He is and I don't like this headline by CNN, right? Senegal president shows support for PSG player Idrissa Gueye following homophobia row. I hate that headline because it's gaslighting. And basically, what happened is his coach, Mauricio Pochettino, said that he had been asked to be excused from the weekend's game for personal reasons. Well, it's been made public by various sources that the reason he did not want to participate in Paris Saint-Germain's game on Saturday is because they were wearing the rainbow um, in their on their kits and to celebrate LGBT plus community. Um, Apparently, he said it was against his convictions. He's a devout Muslim, he says, and he wanted to avoid wearing the shirt. Now, there's other reports outright saying that the 32-year-old footballer has pretty much said that he is not. It's against what he believes, right? And so other players have come out in support of him, and some of their coaches have said they'll talk to their players. Well, the French Football Federation has reportedly written to him to clarify why he was absent. And then others are asking for punishment of this man. So the question of the morning, right? And it's not just football. It's not just this is a job. If you work at a company, Sancho, or if you have employees, right? If you work at a company and they say, let's for instance, they're honoring Black Lives Matter or something, a cause, right? Do you feel like you should have to participate? So the question of the morning is very simple. Should people be penalized for not aligning themselves with causes that their employers support?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Mhm.
Was there a discussion ahead of time asking whether they were okay with this? You can't just make a decision and say, this is what we're supporting and everyone is supposed to be on board. Absolutely not. I'm sitting here in disbelief
Mhm.
listening to this story. And why should he be penalized? Why? He doesn't believe in it. And it's not like he just came out one day and was like gay bashing and saying, no, he didn't. Leave that man alone. If he doesn't believe in it, he's not bothering you. He's not anti it. He's just saying he's not in support of it. And that is okay.
But this is what really bothers me. There are people that are gonna say use the terms like CNN had in their headline, homophobia and homophobic. The man said not, he didn't incite anything, he didn't threaten anything, he did not even make disparaging remarks. He simply said it. Let me be clear, folks. You all know I'm down for a cause that I believe in. You know that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I am not into people supporting things that they don't want to support. I don't need you to stand up for me if you don't believe in the cause. Don't give me this, uh, oh, everyone at the company. Let me use this example. 2 years ago, I think it's 2 years today, George Floyd was murdered. I could be wrong, but I might be correct. 2 years today, I believe George Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis. And that led to a whole international, kneeling and marches and all. In Bermuda, there was a march that took place. I like to call it the March to Nowhere because no one knows where it went from there. No one knows what happened after that, right?
Yes.
And when I think about that march, I think about some of the companies that participated and people. Companies and people who have been silent about racism and discrimination for years. They took that opportunity to involve themselves globally. Companies got involved, said they were going to do this, do that, add diversity and inclusion. They were going to appoint this black person, this woman, that black woman to diversity and inclusion positions. But I beg you to ask, what have those companies done since? Because I tell you what happened in Buffalo this past weekend, what continues to happen across the US with racism, what continues to happen in Bermuda. Don't think because we have a black leader in David Burt that racism doesn't exist anymore.
Jamal,
Because I'm
you
going
are speaking from my heart. When I tell you the Black Lives Matter, that label Black Lives Matter, it
get me started.
Jamal, it just puts this. Exactly. Where did it go? Where did it lead? And it upsets me. We sit there, we fight for this cause, and here we are, and we're pro-black, and then
Mhm.
all of a sudden, where is it now? What happened? You are correct. Where did it go?
Mhm.
I had this conversation on a regular basis, and even look at Black History Month.
Mhm.
I ain't seen a single Black Lives Matter. And you know what's crazy? I have this discussion at Madison's school all the time. Madison goes to Somersfield. And I think everyone kind of knows, and I would be the first to say that they are big on, they say, inclusivity.
Mhm.
And my biggest argument with them, and I'll let it be known in public, being a mother of a Black son, I always fight for his advocacy. And they are very big on gay pride, and that is fine. I'm okay with that. But when it comes to the Black Lives Matter piece, they know that they need to do more. And I am always advocating for that every day. Today, I have a meeting at school. How do we do better? Because if you're going to do one, you have to do the other,
Mhm.
right? And as you say, as I said, no one sat that man down and said, how do you feel about
Mhm.
us representing this ahead of time? You cannot just throw something on someone and tell them this is what you're going to do.
Mhm.
He has the right to say, no, I'm not in agreement with it. And he should not be penalized. Penalized for what? He didn't do anything wrong.
I mean, and that's the thing. And question of the morning, folks. I'll get to. I know you're there. I'll get to some of you. Should people be penalized for not aligning themselves with causes that their employers support? Now, here's a comment. Sean Smith says no, no, and no. You have players who do not take the knee in football, and nobody says anything. Well, let you. Sean. Let me just bring that up because I have these stories up. Okay, I have Marcus Alonso from Chelsea, the white Spanish left back. He basically stopped taking a knee, right? And his reasoning was says he will no longer take a knee before matches as the Chelsea defender believes the anti-racism gesture is losing strength, right? And his coach Thomas Tuchel admits that he understands his players' reasoning. Oh, black player Wilfred Zaha, who was racially abused by a 12-year-old boy in England, right, over the last 2 years, he said that he's going to stop kneeling because again, it doesn't matter whether we kneel or stand. Some of us will continue to receive abuse. The point is, folks, and actually, you know what? Let's go to some other comments and then I'll bring my point. Tanya Cheeseman says, a hard no.
Yeah.
Aaron Simmons says, most certainly, absolutely not. Sam Cat Place, you always bring it, don't you, girl? She says, no, you should not be guilted in participating, and that is harassment with grounds for a suit on your employer. Inclusion and diversity is okay, but if you don't believe it's your free choice not to join. But if you, yeah, I mean, force is not freedom.
Yeah.
Force is not freedom. At the end of the day, me choosing not to embrace LGBTQ plus, if that's what I choose, don't mean I hate anybody that's LGBTQ plus. It just means I'm not promoting it. Just because I don't advertise or promote something doesn't mean I dislike it. It just means no, I don't align with it. It could be an alcohol brand. I don't drink. So no, I'm not gonna because that's not what I align with. It doesn't mean I hate people who drink or hate beer like necessarily. It's just not for me. I don't understand. And and don't
It's
bring up the race
bullying.
thing to me. Do not bring up the race thing to me because at the end of the day, I can care less whether people support our black movements and causes. To me, it's a matter of conscience, not whether or not you want to tick a box to say, hey, I have a black friend and I supported him.
Yeah. And outright, it's bullying. It is
Yes.
bullying. You know what I mean? We say, oh, we're trying to get rid of bullying, and it's bullying at its highest level. You cannot bully someone into your beliefs. You can't.
But
It's
it
not
seems
okay.
like, Sancha, it seems like that's where we are, and it's a dangerous place to be. Like you're literally like got the French football president, right? Basically asking for an explanation of why this gentleman didn't want to participate. Why I have no problem with these like Eastern European all white countries and teams not taking a like kneel against racism because at the end of the day, folks, I will repeat what I said earlier. Kneeling has not stopped white supremacy from murdering the lives of black people. Notice I didn't say people of color.
Yeah.
Taking a knee hasn't done that. Diversity and inclusion hasn't done that. We need to stop accepting these trinkets and tokens that are being put before us to make us more comfortable. They are not changing anything. Systemic change takes more. So when we're penalizing someone for not wearing something they don't align with because it goes against, they haven't put
Yeah.
anyone's life in jeopardy. They haven't incited any violence. They haven't been said anything disparaging or like it's bothersome. We've got to do better as a community. This doesn't mean that he doesn't love his fellow brothers and sisters who may be LGBTQ plus. It
Yeah.
just means he refuses to promote something that he doesn't align with. Stop
But
it.
it seems to happen a lot, right? Like if you're, and this is just my opinion, this is not the opinion of the Daily Hour.
Should
I
I run it?
I feel as if you are against or seem to not be, riding the wave of, inclusivity of gay people.
Mhm,
It's almost like what's wrong with you? Like you like it's not okay.
mhm,
And it I don't know. I feel like Black people, we have been fighting for years
mhm.
and we don't, and all of a sudden we have this movement that comes along and we're just supposed to just
But
get on board.
when Dave Chappelle said that, everyone wanted to say his being homophobic. No, he was telling the truth.
It
He was
is.
telling the truth. Black people been fighting for years, reparations, everything, and then they came along with their corporate sponsors and they got there. This doesn't mean people hate you. I'm got nothing but love for you all. You're
I have
human.
a different cause that
Your cause is not my cause. Just like
exactly.
my cause was not your cause. I've argued with numerous people part of the LGBTQ plus community who literally think that violating black man's rights, oh, it's not just black man, they would say, for conscription was okay because it's different. What's different? But folks, the hypocrisy don't make me comfortable. Renee Simmons sent
Definitely not. Just like opinions, people have their own beliefs and convictions. No one should be penalized if they go against any issue they do not believe in. It's a choice that we all have. Totally agree.
Sherry
Yes.
Vanderpool
No,
says
Sherry.
definitely no. Definitely no. Shigarena.
No one should be penalized. However, internal social networks at some companies do have monitors who will always post various opinions. It's sad that in such a, I'm sorry, Sam Cat Play says, it's sad that in such a free world, you can't have your own beliefs and choices. Yeah. Yeah.
Talent TJ Clark says no, they shouldn't be forced. But with regards to the footballer, what does his contract state? I don't know the answer, but there could be a clause he accepted for the $1 million contract. This is true.
That
This
is
is
true.
true.
And that's why I said, did we have a conversation ahead of time?
Mhm,
Whereas, okay, we agreed to this,
mhm,
but that's once again, management cannot make decisions without including,
mhm.
your employees.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, if you sign up for it and then go against it, then you're obviously breaking your contract. But for me, just reading into it, if the France Football Federation president, no, well, number one, if his club was aware of it and his manager, his coach says for personal reasons, it obviously seems like he was given the right to not play. It's only
Right.
become an issue because people are asking why. So something tells me it's not in his contract, just from
Exactly.
that. But
Exactly.
the French Football Federation, like almost basically, well, if you're in our league, you need to fall in line, folks. There's a line here. We're gonna continue this conversation. We're gonna talk
They
about this the
can't
entire
do
show.
this to me. Jamal, this is my son Maddox's football team. And
Uh,
now I have to think, like, come on now. Don't make me go choose a new team.
I mean, I can get you a new team of ease, but no, we can have that. But
Yeah.
folks, what should people be penalized for not aligning themselves with causes that their employers support? Now, for instance, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've had an employer. I've had pretty much two employers, right? Two,
Mhm.
and I don't support Black History Month, for instance. I don't.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like Black History Month at white organizations is nothing but optics, truthfully. Especially when these organizations have done nothing to advance Black people intentionally, right? And it's not their responsibility, but I'm just saying if you're gonna try to push something like you're all for it, other than optics, then we need to see actual change, right? And I don't see that change. So for me, I've never been down with the white organizations I've worked for, and I'm just being very direct and honest, celebrating Black History Month. I've never been a fan of it.
Right.
So that's a cause, like, I would say, no, I don't want any part of. I don't want to be that token or that face for Black History Month. I just don't. I'm not. That's not why I'm here. I don't want you to hire me as a diversity hire. I don't want to be hired just because I'm Black. I'm damn well good enough. That's why I want to be hired.
Right.
No, I get people who will say, well, Black people didn't have chance to do this and do that. Bro, sis, I get it. But diversity hires are not systemic changing, and they're not going to lead. It may help you as an individual, but is it helping? We're going to continue this conversation. Let's bring Leanna in, do the news break. We're going to talk about this the entire show. Should people be penalized for not aligning themselves with causes that their employers support? That's the question. We'll get Sanchez. Talent says choose a new league, not just a new team for your son. We're going to get to. I see there's a lot of engagement. We're going to get to as many comments as possible. Let's bring Leanna in and get some news break going. Good morning, Lee. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I love this conversation because I'm with half the audience that said it's a hard no. Absolutely not.
I love that Leanna has an opinion.
Yeah.
It's rare, right? It's rare.
No, and I've always been one that says on this show that I don't know when society became this whole thing where we're not allowed to be individuals anymore and have opinions on things that, no, I don't support it. I'm okay with the fact that I don't support it. You have to respect my decision that I don't support it. And we're still going to carry on and make hit songs. Exactly. Simple as that.
It's that simple. And
Nicely said.
It's easy. Like I'm very honest with you guys in groups of what I don't support and what I don't celebrate. That doesn't mean that you guys can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very honest. I mean, since we're in here, but I'm like, I don't celebrate Black History Month. You guys can do it. I'm not into Mother's Day or Father's Day. You guys can do it. Like I'm just I don't put my beliefs on other people. That's something I learned through conscription. Like it took me a while to grow up and get to this point. I'm not going to act like it happened overnight, but I'm not angry at people for not believing what I believe or aligning with what I believe or want. Like my cause, they may not see it the way I. Yes, it may be frustrating at times. It may be, but at the end of the day, to penalize someone, if I said to you guys, "Oh, we're going to support St. George's and Cop Match, you can't wear Somerset," and people may say, "Oh, that's minor." No, it's the same thing.
Not going to happen. I was actually going to go for you today, but I said, you know what? Let's see.
I was kind of with Mal on that one. You want to wear all blue and blue for the next couple of months? I'm good with that.
Harry and I, we quit.
Walking off the job.
See how it is? See, I couldn't do it. They're ready to leave already. But I know people will say, "Oh, that's a different example," but it's the same thing.
No,
like,
it is.
There are states in the U.S. where it's actually happened. When I was in graduate school, there was a man who wore, like, his football team must have been, like, let's say Cincinnati Bengals, and they must have beat the Green Bay Packers, and he went to work in a Green Bay Packers tie or something, and his boss was a Cincinnati Bengals fan and fired him. And he
that is ludicrous.
I'm just saying, but it's all ludicrous. It's all ludicrous, but we only see certain things as important enough to say that it's hate. It's, whatever. Anyway, Lee, I'm sorry. I'm taking up your news time.
Rant over.
All right. We're going to go to Leanna for the news. Then we're going to do the days to remember. I'm not going to forget because Sandra slaps me at the end of the show if I forget.
Like, oh, you forgot.
Yeah. And then we're going to continue the question, folks. Should people be penalized for not aligning themselves with the causes of their employers that they support? All right, Lee, over to you.
Thanks, Jamal and Sancha. Good morning to every one of you that's tuned in with us today. I hope you all are having a great start to this cloudy Thursday morning. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's pharmacy. In today's top stories, the Senate has passed Fairmont Southampton's tax concessions. The controversial financial breaks, which caused a constitutional procedure clash, saw a massive $376 million passed for the revamp of the hotel complex. Now, Parliament has approved tax concessions valued at between $121 million and $133 million over 15 years to site owners Gencom. The One Bermuda Alliance attempted to table a raft of amendments to the legislation, but all but one was ruled out of order after the upper house was suspended for a number of hours as legal advice on the matter was sought. OBA Senate leader Ben Smith said that although his party supported the reopening of the flagship hotel, there were a number of red flags surrounding the financial breaks involved in the major deal and was not sure why the OBA amendments had not been approved for discussion. Now, last night, Government Senator Owen Darrell described the passing of the bill as another important step for Bermuda's economic recovery. In other news, the island has recorded 2 more COVID-related deaths, bringing the number of fatalities from the virus to 137. Now, Health Minister Kim Wilson offered her condolences to the family and friends of the victim. There were 307 new cases recorded from the more than 9,000 test results carried out in the past week. 5 people are now in hospital with the condition, although none are in the intensive care unit. There are also 301 recoveries in the same period, bringing the number of active cases to 360. And following our conversation on Tuesday regarding roadworks taking place in the city of Hamilton during peak times, there has been a schedule change for ongoing roadworks on Front Street. Now, road repairs this week led to major traffic congestion along detours from Front Street, with some drivers ending up in jam packs on Queen Street. Now, the COH made the announcement yesterday saying that the city was heeding public response and would now open Front Street to eastbound traffic between 4:30 p.m. and 6 p.m. only. Now, they say this would or should ease congestion for traffic exiting the city during the post-work rush hour. Traffic coming into Hamilton between 4:30 and 6 p.m. will be diverted onto Court Street. The city has apologized for any inconvenience caused to commuters and asked for patience as roads and sidewalks are upgraded. And 93 college students will walk across the stage today to receive their associate degrees, diplomas, or certificates. Now, today's commencement ceremony makes its comeback under the big tent on the college's athletic field, making the first time it will be held in person since the onset of the coronavirus pandemic in 2020. Now, nearly half of the class of 2022 will be graduating with honors, earning either merit or distinction. College president Dr. Duranda Green said that despite the challenges over the last 2 years, these graduates have persevered to make it to this milestone, and kudos to each one of them. She said, quote, "Our graduation numbers are slightly higher than last year's, and we're also celebrating a few milestones," end quote. Now, we here at the Daily Hour want to send a huge congratulations to all of the Bermuda College graduates. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 78 and a low near 72 degrees. As we said earlier, a few early clouds lead into a mostly sunny day. Now, with weak high pressure lingering nearby, skies become mostly sunny and winds remain generally light and variable in direction. The combination of a moist southwest flow and a weak trough brushes by to our north, causing cloudier skies at times during Friday into Saturday. Then stronger high pressure settles conditions into next week. That's all for our Daily Hour news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sancha in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
You know, Lee, Sancha, I just want to thank the audience, right? Because, Leanna, I want the audience to take credit for the city of Hamilton, what you just reported. Changing that time, that's on you all. So, no, I'm not on that stuff. Like, you all don't realize where's that laughter. I mean, I'm saying laughter. Let's give yourselves a round of applause, because
yes, we made some noise.
I tell
That
you
was ridiculous.
what they listen. So and I'm being serious because when you speak about stuff, you can't just complain. What we did on Monday is we discussed solutions. We discussed well Tuesday, whatever day it was, but we discussed what they can do instead. So that's big, and this is why community conversations are so important. When I saw the email come through, I was like, I hope Lee sees it. I hope Lee sees it, right?
Of course.
But I think I put it in the group as well when they sent the city of Hamilton sent it. So props to the audience for making sure that we're getting things straight. Sench, please tell me what year it is.
That makes me so proud. So today is International Accounting Day. You know how many accountants we have in Bermuda, right?
That hard stuff.
Yeah. So consider joining the fulfilling profession of accounting networks with others, or dig into options for earning an accounting degree for yourself. While accounting may seem like a boring profession, it's vital to every business out there. Without accountants, people won't get paid promptly, nor be able to understand their debts or credits. Even with an accountant, these can still be hard to understand. Accounting is work that isn't something that many people enjoy, but is very necessary.
A shout out to all
I
the
need
accountants
an
out there.
accountant.
Yeah, shout out to them because I'm a words person, not a numbers person. So thank you for making sure we get paid.
Always looking for. I'm like, anybody needs a good accountant? It's you have to keep your numbers straight, right?
Mhm.
Trust
Book
me.
balance.
Look at your face.
That's the best decision you can make if you're
Absolutely.
going into business. The best decision is
Have
get
an
yourself an accountant right away. I
Yes.
will leave it at that.
Mm.
Yeah. Lee, we'll see you tomorrow.
See you
Bye,
guys
Lee.
tomorrow. Bye, Sancha.
All righty, Lee. Anna Lambert, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, Lee. All right, folks. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to continue the conversation. Should people be penalized for not aligning themselves with causes that their employers support? You've heard from Sancha and I. We've heard from some of the audience, and a lot more of you have been in the comments. So we'll come back and we'll share your comments, and we'll continue the conversation. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
We're featuring a range of remarkably effective household cleaning solutions made with ecologically sound ingredients and pleasing fragrances from Ecos, a company with over 50 years' experience producing plant-powered cleaning products. The founder was a veteran chemist in the cleaning products industry and started up Ecos as a response to the harsh chemicals he had routinely encountered. Try Ecos non-abrasive cream cleanser, vinegar window cleaner, and in spray bottles, Orange Plus and Parsley Plus cleaners, shower and floor cleaners, furniture polish, and stain and odor remover. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field. Number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. Sancha Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed on our website so you don't miss out on a chance for updates, promotions, prizes, and more. Also, if you're on the go and can't watch, that's okay. Download the BCG Radio app, available for Android and Apple devices, and you can listen to us every single live episode. Look, we're going to continue the conversation. You can see it at the bottom of the screen. Should people be penalized for not aligning themselves with causes that their employers support? So this came out of the conversation regarding the PSG footballer Idrissa Gueye. He is said, it's been reported that he declined to participate in his club's latest football game on the weekend because he did not want to wear the rainbow on the jerseys, right? The LGBTQ plus symbols. And the French Football Federation and amongst other bodies are asking him for his reasoning apparently, according to the president of Senegal, where he's from, he's a Senegalese footballer, is supporting him, his right to choose to opt against it based on his religious convictions. He is a devout Muslim, it's been reported. So the question of the morning, should people be forced? This is not about football, of course, but just in general, should people be penalized for not aligning themselves with causes that their employers support?
I can't believe that we're in 2022
Mhm.
and we're in this space.
Mm,
Like, in this day and age, why are we in this space?
mm, mm.
I talk about respect and all of that all the time. Like, why are we not respecting people,
Mhm.
their beliefs? And I'm baffled.
Well, it seems to me that the tolerant have become the intolerant. And I can go deeper on that. Michelle White says definitely not. It changes the rules mid-play. Management can't force you to agree with something when it wasn't on the table when you started the job. Yeah, I mean, again,
Let's say that. Let's say you enter into a contract that states that, okay, there may be things that we support, and what happens if you get to that point and there is something that they bring up that you don't support? You should still be able to say, like, listen, this is not something that I support, regardless of what I get. I don't know, contracts, they get me every time. So
no, but it opens up a whole can of worms if you leave it so open. Where I mean, literally, it can be anything.
we talked about red flags yesterday. Red flag, folks.
Yeah, seriously.
Red
It should be a red flag. Sherry Vanderpool says that damn diversity and inclusion is just a smoke screen for so many things.
It is.
Monica Dunson said it's fine not to support something, just do no harm to those who do. But I think that's the point, though, is what harm is he doing? What harm is this individual doing? He literally just said he's not participating. Like, again, if he was inciting harm or encouraging it,
Yeah.
in any way, then no, I feel there's an issue. But if all he's doing is saying that he does not want to align himself with it,
That should be understood.
I'm not quite sure what's so difficult about that. Like, again, I use the example with us, and it again, you all may say, "Oh, it's light. That's a joke type, whatnot." But it's people have lost jobs over simple things like that.
Mm-hmm.
People have lost jobs. Like if both of my partners both live in St. George's, both St. George's fans, if we decided everyone must wear blue because for St. George's, like there are people crazy enough to do that stuff, right? Seriously. It's no different because we're forcing everyone to align themselves with something that everyone doesn't support. It's not just about cup match or just cricket or just fun and games at that point. You're literally asking people to do something that they don't want to do, right? And I'm using that example because I want to bring it back to something that people need to understand how silly it is when we want to penalize people for not aligning with certain things, certain causes, even though he's not causing harm to anybody. He's not telling people that speaking like bad about him or disparaging remarks or any of that stuff. He's simply excusing himself. Excusing himself. But how in 2022 are we in a place where we're okay with people being penalized for not supporting a Black cause, an Asian cause, a gay cause? Folks should be able to support whatever causes they believe in.
But then, even with that being said, Jamal, who wants an employee that's going to support something that they don't believe in? Who wants an employee that's not going to stand up and say, you know what, this is not something I believe in, and you should be okay with that? Like, in order to have a solid foundation, you have to have solid people on your team. And if you're not okay with somebody speaking the truth or living in their truth, then there's something very wrong with that organization. Very wrong.
Yeah, I agree. The question, should people be penalized for not aligning themselves with causes that their employers support? I just want to add something to that, though, Sancha. So what you're saying is so right, but so many companies want robots. So many companies still want robots. I know we speak about these great companies that want people with fresh ideas and open minds. They say that, but again, optics. They say it, but once you get there, no, you've got to fall in line. The answer to the question today, Esther K. Harvey says no. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says good morning, no. B. Denise Hollis says, I don't believe that anyone should be penalized. Not everyone takes a knee in sports, and particularly, and they're not penalized. Well, again, I mentioned that earlier. I brought up two cases. The white Spanish player Marcus Alonso for Chelsea, he doesn't take a knee. Wilfred Zaha, the Crystal Palace player, black player of African descent, he doesn't take a knee, and they give their reasons for not taking it. There are all white Eastern European teams that don't take a knee. It doesn't bother me. Honestly, it does. That stuff doesn't bother me. But as Piers Morgan, who's a voice for nothing to me, the biggest joke on the internet at times, but he's entertaining. But I agree with him yesterday. No one should be forced.
But
no one should be forced.
I look at like the NFL. I still can't get with the NFL and that whole, Colin what's his name? Colin Kaepernick situation. I don't know. I'm still not ready to be okay and accept it and be all into football like nothing happened. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. That's a great example. I'm glad you brought up Kaepernick. Right? There was a cause. He did not. No, he may have made disparaging remarks. His socks that had pigs on it, reference to the police and so on.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But not once did he incite violence. He took a knee. He took a knee during the singing of an anthem. Who is being physically hurt, emotionally hurt, financially hurt by him taking a knee? That's his cause. No, you don't have to take a knee with him.
Right.
You don't. Nobody asked you to take a knee with him. Nobody's forcing you to take a knee with him. That's it right there, folks.
And that's kind of like the flip side of it. You know what I mean? He believed in something. He acted on it. Management wasn't okay with it, but now he's out the door. So it's like okay for management to say this is what we're doing and you need to be on board. But is management on board with your cause?
Yeah.
So.
I just think we're treading very dangerously, Sandra. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Ebony Souza says, I love how LGBT plus is a community of inclusion, diversity, equality, and freedom to be you. But those who aren't part of the community face backlash like this. Weird, Anna. Well, we've had people say this before, like, again, it goes back to the comment I made earlier, have the tolerant become the intolerant. This is not against the LGBT community. Let me be clear. This is not bashing them. Exactly. This is about people who disagree with causes being penalized simply because they don't want to support the cause publicly. We don't know if Idrissa Gueye may have members of his family or friends that he supports, but publicly, because of his religious beliefs, he does not want to support this. He's being penalized because he doesn't want to support it. If I go to a job, right, and they say they want to, I used it earlier. They say, oh, we're supporting Black History Month. We're going to do this and that. And I say, well, I don't support Black History Month. I don't believe in, restricting our history to 1 month, or, why can't we celebrate a Black person every month rather than 20, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it'd be less Black people celebrate it if it's once a month, but at least it'll be all year long. I wouldn't be down for that cause, especially if that organization doesn't reflect Blackness in decision-making positions, right? I'm just not down for it, Sandra. So for me, I wouldn't support that. Am I going to be penalized for it the same way? Are they going to ask me, call me into HR and say, we want to speak about your lack of support? No, if I were white, they probably would, because
they will say, probably don't understand it. They're right. Like, what do you mean? Like correct. The first time I've heard this from a Black person.
Mm-hmm. No, but the difference though, like if I were white, they would say, oh, let's talk HR, as if I'm being racist. Just because a white person doesn't support Black History Month, or it doesn't mean they're racist. They just don't understand the cause. They don't believe in it. They have that choice not to support it. The same goes with other things. Same goes. Ebony Susan says, by no means I'm against LGBT. I'm gonna have to. No, that wasn't to you, Ebony. I just want to be clear to the audience because some people just tuned in. But I know I get your point, and I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. The point that you were making. I think the point she's making, folks, is, like I said earlier, the tolerant becoming intolerant. Like, we have to understand that if you're all for this inclusion, diversity, equality, freedom to be you, then you can't pretty much chastise those who may not support you. It makes no sense. You're going against everything that you said. Some can't play sense.
So many people come across as fake these days. Just allow people to be real and be themselves, even at work within reason. Why make your employees uncomfortable? It's not right. Totally agree. And I know with me, I mean, I support the LGBT, but I'm not active in, what they have going on. There's certain things where I'm like, even I'm probably gonna be slaughtered for saying this, but even with the rainbow, I'm like, you kind of took our rainbow, and I want rainbow to just be happiness, not that other. You know what I mean? So I support you, but I have other causes that I am actually more active in. And you have to respect that. I cannot. I hope things go well for you, and whatever you're advocating for, you receive and succeed in. But I choose to be more, into another cause, and that's okay. You have to respect it. Doesn't mean I'm against you. I'm just for something else right now. I'm putting my energy elsewhere.
Yeah. Stuart Haywood, he is the only or last Bermudian, I should say, who was elected as an independent back in was it 89, something like that. But anyway, he was known for being the head of BEST for the environment in Bermuda. And back when I was working in radio in Bermuda in the late 2000s, I asked him, I said, you're always talking about trees. What about people? What about conscription? What about our cause? And he said to me, it's not that I'm against your cause, but I'm focused on our cause. And it hit me that just because people are not publicly out with you at the front of your cause doesn't mean that they're against you. Their focus is elsewhere. So it just made me think of what you just said, that it's not that you're against it, but you have other causes that you're putting that are more important to you. Now, Ebony Souza says the lines have become so blurred, mainly from those who don't understand the concept. Indeed, I agree. B. Denise Hollis says, personally, I shouldn't have to publicize my beliefs on any level. Bingo.
Yes.
Bingo, Denise, right? She says, we're still dealing with the vaccinated versus unvaccinated people in the workplace, and some companies have a double standard. I like how you made that. I like that.
Comparison, right?
I love that. Because let's use that as an example. Let's eliminate the LGBT. Let's use vaccinated versus unvaccinated. The amount of arguments between family, friends, colleagues over the last 2 years, people supporting COVID versus believing it's not real. People choosing one version, which they say are facts, versus another, which others say are facts. Then we get to the space where companies tell people that they have to be vaccinated in order to come to work, versus those who may have religious reasons and so on. Different causes, different things that are put out there. It's a tough time to be an employee that has certain beliefs.
Yeah. So many relationships have been ruined. This vaxxed and anti-vaxxed and, I know people that aren't speaking anymore. It's like, I cannot deal with, I can't deal with the beliefs. I can't do, and it's like, it's rough.
No, it is. It is. I know people who aren't speaking to their children, and children aren't speaking to their parents over it. Like, look, it's folks. Some things we don't have to make everything divide us. We're looking at what we're speaking about today about people not supporting causes. I literally had to come to an understanding that it's not the responsibility of someone else to support my beliefs. It's just not. And I had to get out of that space. Folks, you got to remember, if you knew me If you didn't agree with my conscription argument, I thought you were the worst person in the world. I thought so low of you. But then I got to a space where I honestly understood not everyone's going to understand. And those who do understand, they're allowed to disagree. They're allowed to disagree. And now I know people are saying, yeah, but there were people that are raped and abused and through conscription. How could they be allowed to disagree? Because guess what, folks? We're human beings. And them disagreeing is just saying, you know what? I don't understand it the way you do. I don't feel impacted by you. And it's a chance for you to do two things. Either take the opportunity to educate them or say, you know what? Let me move on. But to be angry at people who disagree with you, to want to see them penalized for disagreeing with you, Sancha, that's not the way we should be living.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If they're not inciting violence or like in any sort of harm, mentally, emotionally, physically, if they're not inciting any harm on you, then I don't see what the issue is. We should be allowed to not participate in causes that our employers are a part of. At the end of the day, we all come from different backgrounds. Even if we were brought up on the same street and different houses, our different households will do things differently.
Jamal, do you think they're going to penalize him?
I'm watching closely. I'm watching closely. And if they do, I hope that he has some good lawyers to sue. Because as far as what all he did, based on what's being reported, and we're talking about the footballer for PSG, folks, all he did was excuse himself from a game so he did not have to wear a jersey in support of the LGBT community. That's all he did. He didn't make disparaging remarks. He didn't incite harm, physical, violent, or emotional. He didn't. And if that's the case, if that's what's being reported, my honest hope is that more intelligent heads prevail. Folks, yes or no? Yes or no? Let's wrap it. Yes or no? Should people be penalized for not aligning themselves with causes that their employers support? Should people, regardless of the cause, should people be penalized for not aligning themselves with causes that their employers support?
I can't imagine there's going to be a yes. And if there is a yes, I want to hear.
Yeah.
Like,
so your answer, you're standing by your no.
Of course, no, definitely not.
So if there's a yes in the audience, would it be okay a yes if they signed a contract and didn't read the contract to see that it said that? Would you be in favor of that kind of yes?
I wouldn't be. I mean, I get it. I get it. Sometimes we get excited, we sign stuff and we get ourselves into a little pickle. But we got to find a way out of that. And once again, management, we shouldn't be writing people into things that isn't right.
I agree. Yes or no, folks? Should people be penalized for not aligning themselves with causes that their employers support? Yes or no? Give us just a yes or no, real quickly. Yes or no? B. Denise Hollis, she says no. Sean Smith says no. Manuela John says no. So, Sandra, it looks like there's a pattern of no's. Renee Wills says no. Sonia Clark says no. I think I see where we're going here. Shawnette Bell says no. Like I was hoping for at least one yes. Ebony Souza says no. Marquita Lee says no. Michelle White says no. Karen Simmons says no. I mean, the consensus is no. I just think more intellectual heads have prevailed. Rondell Richardson says no. It's no. We're going to take a quick break, come back with the daily play and wrap it up. Folks, keep letting us know. How do you feel? Should people be penalized for not aligning themselves with causes that their employers support? Let us know your thoughts. Let's take a commercial break, come back, do the daily play, send you off for some daily inspiration, and wrap this up.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
I'm part of the SSCP, giving us opportunities to go out and sell, which is what I'm doing today.
One of the most important things I learned in the SSCP is that failure is just a part of being an entrepreneur.
As a vocal community, then you can't go anywhere, can you?
I just believe it's a really beautiful and amazing experience for everybody.
A lot of late nights being up, trying to finalize things, especially for me.
You don't have to do everything at once. Little steps is the key to success.
They helped me go through every step of the way.
It has helped me gain more confidence, so that's one thing.
I'm Marley Spriggs and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Joshua Allen and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Trey Robinson Richards and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Namira Rayner and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Vincent Darrell and I am an entrepreneur.
I'm Shayla Swan and I'm an entrepreneur.
I am Sophia Paxenhan. I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Zion and I'm a young entrepreneur.
All right, welcome back. Thanks again to One Communications, People's Pharmacy Medical House in Linda. She's Central Durham. I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, thank you so much for making us part of your daily routine. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like if you appreciated today's conversation, found it helpful. Make sure you take these conversations around the water cooler, friends, family, yeah, there's backyard barbecues. We can learn something from them. So look, it's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Sencha, are you ready? You're on mute, Sencha. We can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is he sets me up, guys.
All righty. Look. No, this she's gonna get this. You're gonna get this. I'm not putting no pressure. Help her out though, folks. If she needs your help, help her out. Here we go.
Okay, I'm listening.
What river do the Holland Tunnel and Lincoln Tunnel pass beneath?
The Hudson. I felt like you had a little too easy that time.
Somebody might have said the East River. I'm just saying. Somebody might have said the East River. They might have said
I used to live on Hudson Street.
Okay.
I am a New Yorker, Jersey City girl.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? There you go. So I'm just, I don't know. See now.
I used to live on the Hudson River.
So she says, "Oh, that was too easy, folks." I thought yesterday was too easy. Even her mama got it, folks. Mama got it yesterday.
My mama was like, "Sunshine, I got it one time." It was almost like, "Oh, what is wrong with you?"
Mama Durham.
I felt judged.
See, Mama Durham, I know. You just have to do some quizzes. Anyway, Sanj, what's final thoughts on today's conversation, this topic? Anything you want to
thoughts on today? This was a good one. This was definitely a good one. Not something that I even considered, thought about. So definitely happy that you brought this to my attention. But I'm still not clear as to, like I said, how this is happening in this day and age. Like, why are we even having this conversation? And once again, we just have to be mindful that not everybody has the same beliefs as us, supports the same causes as us. And my mom would tell you all the time, I'm like, not everybody needs to know your opinion. All the time I had this conversation, because we need to sometimes check ourselves. And remember that, listen, we are individuals and our experiences are all different. So therefore, our mindsets are different. And what we agree in and think that is, so important is not as important to the next person. And we have to respect that.
And we've
But
got to get to that space. Seriously, we've got to. And I just want to echo what you said, folks. Our beliefs are our beliefs. We have to get to a point where we respect people's beliefs. I disagree a lot with a lot of people, but I also understand that me disagreeing doesn't make me more right than them. I also understand that me disagreeing doesn't mean that they're bad people necessarily.
Yeah.
It's just we sometimes just see things from different perspectives, and
Different
that's okay.
lenses.
This is the line is where what I don't do is if it involves any sort of harm physically, emotionally, or mentally. I'm just not down for anything that does that. But if it doesn't, I'm free. You know, believe what you want to believe as long as it's not inciting harm on others. That's on you. You've got some daily inspiration for us, Cinch?
Yes, I do. To deny people of their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. And that is Nelson Mandela.
I like that one. I like that one. All righty. All righty. Well, thanks again to our partners, Medical House One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you so much for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. Don't forget, give us a love, a like. Make sure you're sharing our content. She's Central Dorm. I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, please do make it a great,
wonderful day.
Peace.